Peace to the family. Peace to my comrades. And it is always smoke to the COINTELPRO boxing fan and the self-hating Negroes. This channel was made for the Black American boxing supporter and our allies if we have any left. Let's go ahead and get this roll call started. First in the chat, we have my honorable brother, Hen Dog. That new wrench looks good on you, brother. Salute to my good brother. Hen Dog is in the building. Salute to my honorable brother. Will Sinclair, is good to see you in the building. Salute to my good brother Dale Rib is in the building in formation. Salute to my brother Dale Rib.
Never. You ain't never had a friend like me.
Salute Isaiah W in the building. All my brothers and sisters, we have the doctor herself, the beautiful Dr. Cameron Fields is in the building. I repeat, the beautiful Dr. Brown Skin Cameron Fields is in the doggone building.
Brown sugar, babe. I guess high up your love, I don't know how to feel.
Peace to the family and everybody in the building. StreamYard, can I get some background music? I hope you all can hear me well. Let me know in the chat that you can hear me loud and clear. I'm going to try to not get too excited so that the family can hear my words. The title today is All Your Street Ninjas in Boxing Want Bill HANEY to Be Their Daddy. All of these men that you call these tough trench warfare street war veterans in the sport of boxing, and you call Devin Haney soft, you call Bill Haney soft, you call DHP soft, you call them cowards for bringing the court into business handlings. But at the end of the day, I can clearly see the hypocrisy that is going on in this sport. You know, I rarely agree with the rapper Boosie, but Boosie just did a live on the new Madden cover of the football player with his nails painted. And he talked about how the NFL is used to be impressionable on millions of little boys across the world. And I sat there and said to myself that I realize what is going on. There is an attack on masculinity, and there's definitely an attack on black masculinity. Our effect and our hold on our sons to depreciate our effect on protecting our women and children. So whether you all realize it or not, the very entities that you say you hate, the very oppressor that you say that you are against, you are helping him go against the fathers in the sport of boxing. Now, I don't know if you saw the rant of Keyshawn Davis, but it has dawned on me that I realize that many just want Bill Haney to step up, and they want to hear Bill Haney say this.
My baby boss. Mine, I'm the father of that baby boss. Boss, I'm that baby's daddy. Any fool can see that baby belongs to me. I want it different. That little rascal belong to me.
Proud to say, boss, I'm that baby's daddy.
I be the paw boss. I'm the paw that there youngin' boss. Not a pappy.
This is what they want, but Bill Haney already has a son. You see, the time that you fighters could have got on the train and unified and used the knowledge and the business acumen of Bill Haney, that time is over. That day is over. So all of you brothers that call in to the General 78, that call in the Champ Side, that call in the Drew Titan, that call into Art Man the Great, and you talk about how tough Keyshawn is, how tough Tank Davis is, how street these brothers are, even though they grew up in the gym just like Devin Haney. Trying to make Bill and Devin seem soft. This is nothing but self-hate. I have to make it plain today. I have to make it plain today. The group of women who have entered the sport of boxing, who are lovers of the baddies, who are lovers of the degenerate depiction of black women all on TV, these group of women have decided to form an alliance together and drag Clarissa Shields. And they drag her on some moral pedestal that they're on, trying to critique her relationship, trying to critique the way she talks, trying to critique her confidence, trying to make her seem like something she isn't. These women wasn't around when Clarissa was rough looking and winning gold medals, but now all of a sudden they are interested. I want you brothers to know that the same way these group of women are hating on Clarissa, at the same time loving to watch the degenerate depiction of black women, some of you men are nothing but parrots for white tea supremacy. And we are at a point now, you men need to be checked, like my brother Hen Dog said. And I understand we're not going to be together on this. I'm already prepared for the next social and moral, spiritual civil war that we're headed for. Between us and the black boxing community, you all know what happens every time two top black fighters fight. Families break up, friendships end. I already know they're not going to unify, but I'm going to be on the right side of history. I'm going to be on the right side so that young people, generations from now, can look back and say, I see what was going on. I ran into this channel called Coach of the Truth Tellers. Have you all heard of that guy, Coach Hudson? Yeah, he had another viewpoint. He let us know that all of the brothers and sisters weren't self-hating Negroes. There is a literal attack going on. But I want to talk about this brother Keyshawn. I find it interesting that you go from trolling to now you're saying they're picking on me. I find it interesting saying where you went from going to look for Debo and all of the hitting the belt on the concrete, all of the antics that you've been doing. Now he's a victim. Now he's preying on the internet. God doesn't like a boastful prayer. He wants you to go in silence. He wants you to go in a quiet place to talk to him. All of these are antics. You see, I don't like when you all try to go in front of the world all of a sudden and act like you're this upstanding, righteous man, God-fearing man, when you didn't have a humble bone in your body when you all trolled Devin Haney. Rolly Romero, you did the same thing. Ryan Garcia, you did the same thing. Richardson Hitchens, you did the same thing. When Devin Haney calls you guys as bluff, now you all are worshipers of the Most High. Now you all are praying. Now you all are pulling a Manny Pacquiao. But let me tell you something about God. The God that you're praying to. God don't like a hypocrite. His grace is mighty, but God doesn't like a hypocrite. And I want to know all of the guys who talk about how street Keyshawn is and how soft Devin is. Well, how street is it that now you run to the internet to pray to defeat Devin? How come none of this was going on before? I want to know, where are you guys now? My brother Hendog says facts. We're calling him out because of what he was doing, all those skit videos instead of signing the contract, all of the trolling you all been doing. Now, Keyshawn, why are you talking about you want Bill to be your promoter? Because you will make him money when just 2 years ago you said we don't need that daddy stuff. We don't need that type of guidance. We get it out the mud on our own. But now you are in the grips of Jay Prince. And now you want a daddy. Now you are in the grips of Jay Prince and they have thrown you out there like the crash dummy that you like to act like. But you're not crazy. You're not crazy. My grandfather used to always tell me, he said, hey man, don't ever think these brothers are as crazy as they act, because they don't go to the north side with that. Living in Chicago as a little kid, he would say they don't go to the north side with that. They keep this foolishness right here on the west and the south side. They're not as crazy as they seem. He let me know, you see, the gangsters back in the day, they were like that. They were like that. Go read the history of Jeff Ford. They were like that. You brothers today are playing gangster. You brothers today are playing street. You sick predators of men preying on these 18 and 19-year-olds, young men that enter the correctional facilities. See, y'all don't want to talk about that part of the street. Y'all don't want to talk about that part of crime. You all don't want to talk about the self-hatred and abuse from black men on black men. And you all are trying to bring that into the sport of boxing. I find it interesting that eventually all of these brothers who you all call street ninjas in the sport of boxing now want the help of somebody like Bill Haney. But you all want Bill Haney to own up to a paternity test that isn't his. Let me say it again. You all want Bill Haney to own up to a paternity test that does not belong to him. You see, the enemy doesn't want a strong father in the household. The enemy does not want the wise counsel of old warriors talking to the young soldiers coming up. And unfortunately, brothers like Keyshawn and his mindset, brothers like Shakur and his mindset. I want to know, family, I thought y'all cared about Raymond Ford. Big bros. How come you all haven't been talking about Raymond Ford? All of you, I'm showing you all, family, that the men are using the same playbook that these bitter, envious women full of vitriol used against Clarissa Shields. These are the same women who swore they were the biggest Layla Ali and Shadaysha Green fans. Now I have a question for you, family. When's the last time you heard any of these women with any platforms talk about Shadaysha Green or Layla Ali? Double-minded and double-tongued, COINTELPRO boxing fans and self-hating jigacoons, self-hating Negroes and misguided black men and women, who has a tank of vitriol aimed at the wrong people, aimed at the wrong fighters. Bill HANEY already has a son. Bill HANEY is already giving guidance. So wait a second. I thought you all didn't need Bill. You all put so much faith in Eddie Hearn, Turkey Al-Sheikh. You all put so much faith in Max Kellerman, Mike Coppinger, Sean Zattel. You all put so much faith in Bob Arum, Oscar De La Hoya. When it was time for you all to get the right guidance, you all didn't go try to reach out to the brothers that could have gave it to you. You all invited racist Latinos onto your stream. When our brothers on the West Coast, some in the Midwest, are catching hell dealing with bigoted, misguided, double-minded, double-tongued, racist. But you invite them in. So the question I have to ask is, are you your brother's keeper? And who trained you all? So if the streets train you all, and you all don't need that father stuff, what did the streets teach you about throwing your brother out in front of work that you have to handle? What did the streets teach you about being your brother's keeper? Y'all not even talking about Raymond Ford anymore. And now Keyshawn is starting to realize, whether y'all like it or not, that brother, they just threw you out there. You've been played. I was sitting back for weeks wondering, why does Shakur keep saying he has so much love for Keyshawn? He doesn't want to step on his toes. I said, why does a man who is number 3 on the pound for pound rankings at the time, he's not talking about his kids as much. He's not talking about his wife as much. But for whatever reason, he keeps going over and beyond, professing his brotherly loveship for Keyshawn Davis. Brothers and sisters, they played on this man. They played on the mental health of this man. So as long as they kept saying, Keyshawn, we love you. Keyshawn, we love you. Keyshawn felt like, I'm the one that needs to go protect the game. I'm the one that needs to protect this head to toe sleepover debauchery organization. I am the one who's going to step up and deal with this Devin Haney. Salute to the sensei in the building. And now all of a sudden, you all want Bill to say this.
My baby boy. Mine, I'm the father of that baby boss. Boss, I'm that baby's daddy. Any fool can see that baby belongs to me. I want it different. That little rascal belong to me.
Proud to say, boss, I'm that baby's daddy.
I be the paw boss. I'm the paw that there youngin' boss. I'm the pappy.
These powers that be who have gone against you. Arrow has spoken on it. Bud has spoken on it. Deontay Wilder has spoken on it. And all of you young brothers grew up seeing this generation who is now on their way out of the sport warn you all over and over again. St. Louis Mix says, The saying is, if you scared, go to church. Keyshawn is all of a sudden going to church. Are any of these homoerotic street fantasy mafia going to say he's scared, or is Dev still just soft? See, you young brothers don't understand. Some of the yes men around you in another predicament would do something strange to you. Some of these predators who are walking free in the world, who have put their parasitic fangs into the sport of boxing and blended in between the black boxing community, blended in into our conversations. We don't understand that this is mental warfare. This is not just a physical warfare. This is a spiritual and mental warfare. Some of these men, like my brother St. Louis Mix said, they have a homoerotic street fantasy about some of these fighters. And let me say this, fam. I don't agree with their lifestyle. But if that is your lifestyle, that's your business. The problem is some of these brothers are trying to blend in and act like they're not what they are. They're trying to blend in and dirty up our sport, throw dirt and smut on our fighters who are moving the sport forward by calling them soft, by saying they're not street old time. They have this in the closet fantasy and they're too cowardly to come out the closet. So they hide in the closet and try to make these channels about things that it doesn't make sense to any of us that grew up when boxing was about the best fighting the best. Now we are arguing and trying to stop big fights from happening. I don't understand. And now you all are upset. You all are getting bitter because you all's mental health champion, he's not talking about how he's going to beat Devin. He's not talking about the work he's putting in. He's talking about Bill being his own promoter. He's talking about you all not saying he hasn't been present enough. But you all think that this man is going to be disciplined enough to beat Dev. My brother Hendall makes a great point. Anyone lives that street life knows you live with trauma that can affect your kids. Now, any brother who has made it out of the street, any brother who has had to watch his friends with holes in their body screaming for their mother, you would understand that you would never want to pass that on to your child if you could help it. So when I see these young fighters talking about something that they're not, what they don't realize is the proverbial sleep paralysis demon on their third eye that my brother Patrice X brought up a few weeks ago. They are harvesting that energy on them. They are making themselves mentally weak. They are trying to attach themselves to an ideology that they know nothing about. These brothers have been in the gym their whole lives. They maybe have been on the porch. They maybe have been around street essence, but you brothers are not gangsters. And now that people are asking you to stand up like a gangster is supposed to stand up, you're upset. But you all said you don't need that father stuff. But now you're asking Bill HANEY to accept a paternity test that does not belong to him. Let me tell you something else I find interesting about these so-called street dudes in the sport of boxing that you all label street dudes. These are the main men going out of their way, pushing the narrative that we don't run boxing no more, right? These are the brothers who bring Ryan Garcia back around. These are the brothers that allow bigots to call us names and push running narratives, and they don't check them at the door. But these are the street dudes, and with all that ugliness, they still go out their way to try to make people love them. They still go out their way with this in their mind. I do not understand. Where is the mentorship? Where is the warriorship? Why do you keep trying to show love to what doesn't love you? Salute to my sister Bella Faithful with a great question. My sister said, I thought this dude was supposedly Craig. Craig didn't come outside and say, Debo, why you picking on me? Craig didn't come outside and say, leave me alone. So if Keyshawn and Shakur are so street, family, I want to know. Tell me, when did the street dudes start screaming, leave me alone? Why you messing with me? This is what you asked for. Matter of fact, you all should like this, Keyshawn and Shakur. One of you all's advisors, Jay Prince, says one of my favorite sayings that he says. Jay Prince says, if you keep campaigning, you're going to get elected. Let me say it again. See, Jay Prince says, if you keep campaigning, eventually you're going to be elected. Keyshawn Davis, you have been elected. You have been elected by DHP. You have been elected by Devin Haney. And it's time for you to step up to the plate. Why would you keep tapping on that beast if you didn't really want to tangle? Do you mean to tell me that all of you have been chasing Devin for clout? Thank you, Stormy B, man. I want to see that trench warfare come out. All of that talk about the trenches, I want to see that come out now. I don't want to hear nothing about why is Bill picking on me. I don't want to hear nothing about why is Bill doing all the talking. That is Bill Haney's job. That is Bill Haney's job, is it not? But you all want to go out of your way. You boxing fans want to go out of your way. Coming to our chats, call us Devin Haney channels, because the brother that's in the sport trying to make the fights happen. So let me ask you this. When Tim Bradley says that Devin Haney is the one trying to make the fights happen, when Bud Crawford says Devin Haney's trying to make the fights happen, are they on DHP's payroll? Are you meaning to tell me that DHP is making all of this money, that DHP is paying everybody that says something good about Devin Haney trying to push the sport forward? But Keyshawn, brother, you said you don't need that father stuff. You said you don't need that guidance. You don't need that wisdom. You are the businessman. You are the businessman. Is that right, family? You see, people love to measure toughness with their mouths instead of their principles. And it's been a whole lot of running of the mouths during this campaigning from Keyshawn and Shakur, Stevenson and Davis. I might as well give them the same last name because this bromance between them is so strong. One minute you're saying he's soft, the same with these fans. The next minute you're saying, I wish I had this father running my career. Now, which is it, brother? Which is it, brother? Because if the man is so soft, why do you envy the foundation he stands on? If Bill Haney is the promoter you wish was in your corner, then what exactly are you mocking, Keyshawn? What are you mocking, Shakur? who just doubled down again saying Tyson Fury would have beat our GOAT, Muhammad Ali. You see, family, this is the contradiction. You praise the architect while trying to tear down the building. Let me say that again. Oh, I like that, family. I like to say that. I like to say that. You praise the architect while trying to tear down the building. You like to praise the architect, but you don't like to give credit to the fruit from the tree that the architect planted. You celebrate the business, but disrespect the businessman. You admire the results, but ridicule the process that produced them. Real men don't let envy disguise itself as criticism. Max Kellerman. Will Sinclair says, Jay Prince is a father figure that's treating Keyshawn like a stepchild. So that's why he's calling on Bill. But Bill can't save you, brother. You see, you're that hard-headed Negro in the community that had a way out. And brothers try to tell you, man, just get your money. Get your money and get up out of here. But you had something to prove. So now you done made it. You done made it into the institution you've been throwing rocks at. And now you have to fight and fend for yourself. So once you get behind those bars, that's not the time to look for a mentor. See, that's how you end up with something up in you. See, now you got to show that trench warfare. See, you boxing fans, you all are the ones who have put this pressure on them. You all are the ones who have spoken on their behalf, making it seem that they fought in every war, making them seem like they've gone to war with the cartels, that they've gone to war with all of the gangs, that they are so tough that they are some type of mob bosses. Whole time, mentally, they're fragile little boys. And you know, it's easy to laugh at another fighter until you realize he's making the moves you wish had been made for you. This is why Tiger Johnson is upset. This is why Keyshawn is upset. Respect isn't just about what you say when a man loses. Respect is about what your own words admit when you're telling the truth. And when your truth is, I wish I had Bill HANEY, you've already answered the argument. The loudest confession isn't always spoken on purpose. Sometimes it slips out when admiration is stronger than pride. And family, I have to say this. Admiration is one of the closest things to hate. Admiration is one of the closest things to envy. We cannot keep ignoring the hypocrisy. This hypocrisy in the sport. The link is posted if you have answers. The link is in the chat if you have answers. Are we just going to keep ignoring these narratives that you all come into our spaces? You all come to debate, which debating just causes division and strife. But dialogue, we're looking for a resolution. Dialogue, we're looking for a solution. But these self-hating brothers and race fans, they just want to debate every day. They just want to go back and forth like a bunch of women every day. And every single time your person falls short, you don't even acknowledge the BS that came out of your mouth. You call the Haney's punks for bringing in the courts. But then when Tiger Johnson gets packed out by some teenagers, you all praise Tiger Johnson taking them to court. It's because you are double-minded, double-tongued, and you love your oppressor. You love to praise Max Kellerman, Sean Zattel, at the same time wanting to argue with every Negro on you. I can't make this up, family. This is a sickness. And the divide is getting wider. The divide is getting deeper. And we have to understand that we're not going to be together. And what you also need to understand, family, is we're just getting started. The closer we get to this fight, the same way it was with Brian Norman versus Devin, just be prepared, fam. People that you maybe have been associates with, friends with on YouTube for years, just get ready. You're about to fall out. Prepare for what's coming, because you are indeed about to fall out. Because the more that people see that the person that they've been hoping to destroy Devin Haney, they can't do it. They're not mentally strong enough. Their boxing ability isn't strong enough. They haven't been put through the fire. They haven't been put through the furnace of affliction like Devin. When Devin was ridiculed for saying a white tee man won't beat me, it was worldwide news, wasn't it? And I honestly believe that Devin Haney is still paying for that comment to this day. Even though he said he was trying to troll to pull Loma out. But they haven't let that down to this day. But Ryan Garcia can talk about digging up George Floyd's body. You all have forgiven him. Ryan Garcia can talk about joining the Klan. You all have forgiven him. Ryan Garcia can talk about all of these atrocities that black people have gone through, and you all, and mock them, and you have forgiven them. But you still crap on Devin Haney to this day. Now I have a question, and I want one of the Keyshawn diehards to answer this for me. It's 25 people in here. I know I got one. Answer this for me. When Keyshawn Davis just asked for Bill Haney to be his promoter, he wasn't joking. Tell me, because I'm not in the street anymore. So is that the new thing in the street now? You reach out to your ops father for wise counsel and guidance? Is that how they move in the street now? Talk to me. I might not understand how the streets work now. It might be a new law of code of honor and conduct that I am not privy to. So please tell me, break it down to Coach. All of you street defenders in the sport of boxing, all of you gangsters in the sport of boxing, break it down for me. Break it down. Salute my brother Drew Tight. Boxing Wiz in the building. Break it down for Coach. Matter of fact, I'll do you one even better. The link is posted and pinned. The link is posted and pinned. I want to know, how come you all pick and choose when these brothers are street and when these brothers are professional? When these brothers are professional, and all of a sudden when these brothers are spiritual. While you're answering questions, I have another question for you. Why is it Devin Haney has to jump through all of these hoops according to you all's logic, but when it's time to fight and make it happen, Ryan doesn't have to honor the rematch? But you still got brothers on YouTube saying that Devin should still be trying to go after Ryan. What are you all talking about? Devin took the man to court to try to make sure that the rematch still happened. How come fighters get to run to the Bible and you all don't call that out? Brothers and sisters, we have my brother, Drew Titan, is in the building.
My name is Leverett.
Salute, my
What's
good
going
brother,
on, good
Drew
brother?
Titan. Man, I'm
Good
good.
brother, Coach.
How you
Man,
feeling,
I'm on the grind, man. I'm on the grind. You know, work schedule changed. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So
sir.
sacrifice the mornings for a bit. You know what I mean?
That's all right.
Off today. Had a lot going on yesterday. Got a lot going on today, but you know, I'm out here grinding. I'm actually gonna head to the gym. You know, and I saw you cooking, and you know, look. When I get back in the crib, you know, I'm gonna give my 2 cents on this because there ain't really much to talk about. But you know, what we are gonna do is we're gonna say that, you know, we told you so. All
Yes,
that's
sir.
wrong with this sport, especially with the baboons. This is a direct reflection of what's going on with the culture as a whole, and it's disgusting. But at this point, I consider this typical behavior. And this is why I have trust issues. What used to be simple for me, you know, I recall a time, got to go back to the 90s, maybe the early 2000s, 90s, the 80s, when there was two fighters and they were in line to meet. They just simply met. That's the end of it. All of this rigmarole that we're dealing with now, it's foreign to me. And I refuse to conform. I refuse to accept it as the norm, boss. And I'll have none of it. I'll have none of it. It's disgusting. And I'm not dealing with it. Now, when I just pulled up, I heard you talking about Ryan Garcia. You already know my stance on that POS. I saw this morning, I saw something on Instagram in reference to him, I think him and Conor Ben sold out. They're going to fight at the T-Mobile or something, and they sold out. And Ring Magazine is saying, "Oh, it's the fastest selling." You know, the fact that Ryan Garcia is selling anything is a direct reflection of how Black people are viewed. Because if George Floyd, if his last name was Steinberg and he died in the same fashion, if you know, he didn't die, he was murdered. He was murdered in the exact same fashion. And if Ryan Garcia said what he said, he wouldn't have a career. Let's just call it what it is.
That's right.
He wouldn't have a career. But the fact that I see big lip monkeys, baboons, you know, still talking about this kid, this grown adolescent. Like I said, it's typical behavior. We have no knowledge of self. These kids today, what they call YNs, they have no knowledge of self, and they don't care to learn anything. They'd rather be wrong and strong, which is why when they get blicked off in the street and they're laying on the floor with a taser in their back or a bullet in their back and a cop standing there, you know, hey, these days, I'm leaning more towards well, what did he do to make that cop pull his firearm? And I'm not sorry to think that way, because you guys give me all the ammunition I need to even think it. Because I watch how y'all do each other. I watch how y'all talk to me. I look at y'all tell me, oh, I can't unsee a left hook. Question, family. I remember when Miguel Cotto took that beating from Antonio Margarito in the first fight. I remember that. And when I thought everything was clean, all I said was this was a classic match between the Mexican slugger and the boxer puncher out of Puerto Rico. I just took it up as a boxing classic. And we didn't know that Margarito did what he did until he tried to do it to Shane Mosley. Now watch this.
That's right.
We still don't know if Margarito, quote unquote, cheated Miguel Cotto. We don't know. You know why? because the man wasn't caught. Go look on BoxRec. It says Cotto Margarito TKO round 11. Margarito wins it. That's what it says. Now, we're not stupid. We suspect that he did what he did. I'll say that he did what he did because we had Kermit Cintron and the senseis in the building. We had Kermit Cintron on our show, and he said that man got me twice. No, that's not your bag. Your bag's down there. He said Cintron got me. Kermit Cintron said Margarito got. I'll see you later, kid. All right. He said Margarito got me twice. Now let me park there because Stormy was on the panel with us, and salute to my brother Trick Nolte, because he's the one that got us to guess. He said, damn, my nephew is 6'3". I mean, I remember when I brought that kid home, man. Goddamn. Holy smokes. I just let my nephew out the car. Kermit said that guy got me twice. Not one time did anyone get in our comment section or say, Kermit, that's your fault. But not your team didn't check his gloves. Your team don't like you, and they didn't blame Kermit.
Right.
They didn't even say, "Hey man, you making excuses." They didn't say anything. But that man said, "Now, if y'all never saw Kermit Cintron versus Margarito, they fought twice. Go watch those fights." Margarito hit Kermit with a body shot. I've never seen anyone curled up on the floor, rolling on the floor. You know how when you was a kid, you fell off the slide, you get hurt, you roll off the floor like it's the end of the world. That's how Kermit was rolling on the floor as a grown-ass man. I said, God damn, Margarito must have some bones. And then the Mosley situation happened, which made us go back to the Cotto situation and say, wait a minute, I ain't never seen Cotto's face look like that.
Exactly.
And how did the trouble start for him? Body shots. Body shots. Now, I brought all that up to say this. I never once said that although, let's say Margarito was caught cheating in the first fight, I never said, hey man, I know he cheated, but all those punches ain't have to land. So if you clowns can't unsee a left hook from Ryan Garcia, I can go back to the Cotto fight and say, I can't unsee those body shots. I can't unsee the left hook, the right hook, the uppercuts. I can't unsee any of that.
That's right.
Because Shane Mosley fought Margarito, and whether he had bricks or adamantium gloves, he didn't touch Shane Mosley not one time. Shane Mosley was the most defensively sound Shane Mosley I ever seen in my life. And I was a little nervous in that fight. But I spoke to Shane Mosley face to face. And I brought up that night. I said, what was going through your mind? He said, I wasn't fighting Shane. Shane Mosley told me, he said, I really wasn't fighting Margarito in the ring that night. I was fighting my wife. I said, huh? He said, man, that bitch called me up. These are his words, coach. And I ran into him on the day before the fatal fury. And he said, man, that bitch called me up after trying to petition the court to take my belts that I got beat up in the ring for after all of that stuff. She called me up and told me not only is she taking me to the bank, but Margarito's going to kill me in the ring that night. And Shane said, nobody could have beat me that night. Nobody. And I believe him. He fought the perfect fight, and he knocked the shit out of Antonio Margarito.
That's right.
And this was after we discovered the damn gloves. But you know what? It didn't matter because Mosley didn't get touched. My question to you is, why couldn't Miguel Cotto fight that same fight? Since you guys want to talk about what you can't unsee. Since you guys want to talk about what you can't unsee, I can't unsee every punch that landed on Cotto. But you know what? I never said that. I never said that. And I was talking to a Puerto Rican gentleman, and he said, "Oh, well, that's why, Devin is still a sucker for suing because Cotto went back and got it back in blood." On the contrary, first of all, Cotto didn't know he was cheating. That's right. Number one. Number two, he couldn't prove that he was cheated, so he couldn't sue. It would have been a frivolous lawsuit. He couldn't prove it. That's number two. Number three, you need to get on your hands and knees and thank Manny Pacquiao for softening him up. Because he aimed for that eye all night after Pacquiao broke it up.
Yes, he did.
Remember, Manny Pacquiao almost ended his career to fight before.
Yes, he did.
That's what happened, and no one talks about that.
Of course they
But don't
don't.
worry, y'all. I'm here. I'm here because I was here for it. Cotto didn't sue because he wanted it back in blood. He didn't sue because he couldn't. And I'm willing to bet if you asked him that night, if you found out he had bricks in his hands, would you have sued him? I'm willing to bet that Cotto would have said yes. Because the video of him getting his ass beat, and HBO put the camera in slow motion to his family and kids crying, that broke my heart. I said, why are they showing this man's family doing that? Why are they doing that? That's stupid. And this is what they do. And there's another thing. I think I'm the only person talking about there's 2 losses on Cotto's record that shouldn't be there. So when I tell the know-it-alls, I say, well, which fights am I talking about? They're gonna say the Margarito. Yeah, but we can't prove that Margarito cheated. We just feel it in our hearts that he cheated. And he got that back, but whatever. The first fight was a WBO exclusive. They made Cotto come in at 145 on fight night to fight for his WBO welterweight title against Manny Pacquiao. And no one talks about that. So when we talk about the fairness in boxing, I'm having 2 different conversations. But you guys hate Devin and Bill so much, you disregard what's right in your face. Now, why is it that I could look at Miguel Cotto and say, hey, man, he got a raw deal at least twice in his career? Why is it that I could do things like that and call it out down the middle? But y'all tell me things like Deontay Wilder's making excuses when he's talking about Tyson Fury's gloves, when we saw the damn gloves. Why is it that I can extend that courtesy? Because I know what kind of person Margarito is, and I know what kind of business boxing is, and I can talk about it like that. Y'all believe me and don't argue with me with Miguel Cotto, but argue me down with Devin Haney, argue me down with Deontay Wilder. Why is that? And then we say, hey, man, there's a racial thing here. Oh, boy, y'all making excuses. Well, prove me wrong. And we don't even have to go with Deontay and Devin. I just told my Puerto Rican buddy, I said, bro, what do you know about the Black Murderers Row? And instead of answering the question, they try to goalpost move. I said, no, stay right here. What do you know about the Black Murderers Row? Oh, well, not everything's racial. I said, well, let me help you out there, buddy. There's one Boricua on the Black Murderers Row. You don't even know who the fuck that is. He looks at me. He gives me that uncomfortable smile. You know, I said, okay, all right, you know, we'll research it. I'm not going to do the work for you. But what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to open up my panel for people that want to argue with me out of emotion without knowing the facts. Boxing can be an emotional sport.
Right.
I just went through it this weekend. My heart was with Errol, but my brain knew what it was.
Right.
My heart was with Errol, but my brain knew what the possibility was. I talked to Stormy about this. I said, man, 50-50 fight. And I knew after the first round, I said, man, Errol's legs, they don't look right. Maybe he'll get warmed up. But you know what? Salute to Errol. And I don't mean to be all over the place, but salute to Errol. I just want to digress on this for a second. Salute to Errol because he knows when to pack it up. He did just enough to not get, like, you know, damaged bad in that fight. But he knows, hey, man, I can't compete at 54-60 with these guys. I just don't have it anymore. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Now, why is it that we can have conversations like this, but as soon as we point, we shine a spotlight on the things that are wrong, and usually it's with guys like Ryan Garcia. They're quick to call us race baiting, but they're never around when we talk about the injustices of a guy like Miguel Cotto. They're never around to hear that. They're never around to hear us talk about how Coon Sean Davis is ducking our Cuban brother. They're never around to hear us talk about how what is this Africa? How he got Oscar Duarte problems. I'm not letting that go. They're not around when we talk about that. They just hear us defending our own, and that's the problem.
Well, what I'm interested to see this week, speaking about Errol Spence, and your Puerto Rican homeboy could attest to this, because I'm pretty sure he paid attention to the aftermath of Xander Zayas being beaten to submission. All that week, they made it more about the heart of Xander Zayas. They
Talk
made
about
it
it.
more about the third round of Xander Zayas. So I am interested if the boxing media this week is going to talk about the heart of Errol Spence every day. I am interested to see if Max Kellerman and Mike Coppinger are going to talk about the miracle of Errol Spence surviving 2 car crashes, being beat by Bud Crawford in that manner, taking off 3 years, coming back and ending his last fight on his feet and retiring. I want to know if it's not racial, if it's not tribal. I want to know, are you all going to give Errol Spence the same media attention that you all give Xander Zayas for not even surviving? You all gave Xander Zayas all of this effort just for being there with Boots, and you made it more about Boots not having defense. You all did the same thing, Max Kellerman, talking about Abdullah Mason being a lazy fighter. So if it is not racial, if it is not tribal, I want to see. Matter of fact, it's already Monday. I ain't seen nothing yet.
I ain't see anything.
I want to see just one mainstream Sean Porter. Shame on you. Shame on you and your commentary in Australia for your countrymen, your peer, and should be your brother in these arms, your brother in the ranks. Shame on you. Your wake-up call is coming too. Tim Bradley can tell you, Sean, it don't matter how many things that you say and how many tokens you think you get, when they're done with your black ass, they're done with you. But my brother Drew is right in exactly what he is saying. We aren't the ones who make it about race. We aren't the ones that make it about this. The boxing puppet masters have been making it about this since we integrated into boxing, into mainstream boxing, and ain't a damn thing changed. I just had to say that, brother.
No, you 100% right. And like minds think alike. That's why, hey man, me and Stormy talk about this all the time. You know, we'll have an idea and then we'll get a notification. Champ side talking about the same thing. You talking about the same thing. Blue Blood talking about the same thing. And it is, I got to tell you, it's refreshing when all the brothers are on the same page. You see what we see. You see exactly what we see, and there's no justification for that. Everything you said about Xander Zayas, and this ain't no slight to Xander Zayas. I bigged them up for even taking the fight. I bigged them up for even taking it. And I said, hey man, Xander's a strong kid, Pandora Doctor. Xander has a chance. Don't think he'll win, but Xander has a chance. And Boots went in there, and Boots did his thing.
Right.
Now, why is this man parking? Hold on, now I'm gonna move. I'm parked here all by myself, and this dude gonna park. Let me get the fuck out of here. This is crazy. I'm sorry. I'm moving. This is why I park in the back. There's no one here. He wants to park near me. Damn. Sorry. The deal is this here. Xander quit. If that was Boots on one knee and he looked at his corner and said nope, there'd have been an uproar. And Xander would have been a bigger hero than they're perceiving him to be.
That's right.
But Xander quit, y'all. Xander quit. And I'm not holding it over his head. He knew that he didn't want to get his ass kicked any further. He knew that. He knew that. So fine, man. Live to fight another day. I watched Eric Morales quit when he fought Manny Pacquiao. I forgot what fight. It had to have been the second or third, where he just sat up and he looked at his corner and he smiled and winked. He said, nope, not tonight. Not tonight. I ain't got it tonight. This guy, no, he's kicking my ass. I said, fine. He didn't want to get beat up no more. That's cool. Right? But you know what, though? Keep the same energy. That's all I'm saying. Keep the same energy. You want to talk about Xander Zayas' heart, but you're going to say Abdullah Mason's a lazy fighter? Coach, I don't even know where that came from when he said that. I didn't even do a video on it because I'm like, wait, did he even mean that? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. A lazy fight. Let me explain something to you, bro. Max, I don't care how many bars you dropped in the 90s when you was rapping. You would never refer to any black fighter as lazy, dogs. You don't ever do that. You don't ever do that. That's not for you to even say, bro. A lazy fighter. Abdullah Mason, lazy?
That's what he said.
That man, Abdullah Mason, that man sat there when he was asked, who do you want to be friends with? He said, friends. He said, I want to fight Shakur, I want to fight Tank, and I want to fight Keyshawn. How's that for friends? I have the clip. I'm never getting rid of it. He got enough brothers. Forget what you heard. He got enough brothers. Talk about that, Max. Has Max done any exposés about how Keyshawn and Shakur should have fought at least twice by now? But they're brothers from other mothers, and they're holding up the division. Did Max talk about, hey man, why does Devin have to dump a belt to fight Shakur? Why does he have to do that? Does Max talk about things like that? That's what we should be talking about. Well, we should be talking about how Devin has a whole list, and with the exception of Brian Norman Jr., everybody could have fought him. No number, space and opportunity, and everyone's choosing to fight each other.
That's right.
Or just avoid Devin. I haven't seen anything this diabolical. I haven't seen anything this diabolical since Guillermo Rigondeaux. But this is worse. And let me refresh y'all memories about Guillermo Rigondeaux. That man. Around that time, there was a guy called. Neil Santa Cruz, Abner Mares, Frampton out of the UK, and Quigg out of the UK. All of those guys were asked to fight Rigondeaux. They all said no. Out loud. They said no. Not fighting that guy. And they all fought each other. And they froze Rigo out. That's why we give props to Nonito Donaire. Because Nonito he was already a Hall of Famer. He was in a position where he could have said no also. He could have said, no, I ain't fighting that guy. Fuck that. I'm a Hall of Famer. I do what I want. He could have, and he was an HBO fighter, and he's Filipino, right? It was Manny Pacquiao was still active, and Nonito was an HBO fighter. He was right there. And he chose to fight Rigo.
That's right.
He didn't have to do it, but he did it. And no one looked at Mares and Quigg, and no one said anything. And I said, this is robbery. Why? I'll tell you why. It's bad enough that Rigo's Cuban, but how do you promote a Cuban fighter that looks African, that speaks Spanish? He don't speak the lick of English. How do you promote that guy? You can't. Not in America. Not in America. And I'm gonna tell you what they did. Everybody ducked him. That man had to go 2 weight classes and fight Lomachenko at the theater in New York. I was at that fight, coach. I was there. Rigo came out. He walked past my row. Man, my daughter bigger than him. And I said, oh, shit. And I looked at Loma. He was like 147 pounds that night. I said, damn it. God damn it. But I said, let's go and check out. And it didn't work out for him. But they gave Loma all the credit for that fight. Fine, man, take the credit. But to this day, Rigo is he was done the biggest crime, one of the biggest crimes in boxing history. So I looked at this Devin Haney thing. He crossed every T, dotted every I. He called out everyone that's relevant, and he still can't get a fight. Somehow he's the villain. Right now, we're holding another black fighter accountable. We're like, yo, what's up, Keyshawn? This is the purse bid is today. Why is this thing even that purse bid? Listen, if the day goes by and they don't work, if Keyshawn don't work this out, yo, listen, y'all can't say anything. Listen, it's over. Y'all can't say anything right now. If Devin is PTSD and pillow fisted and chitty, everybody on that list should have been jumping to fight him. As a matter of fact, Xander Zayas made that list. And I'm gonna tell you another thing that makes me sick. Xander said, oh man, I was gonna run through Devin. Okay, you're supposed to say that. He said out loud, yeah, I was gonna come in at 180 pounds. I said, oh, weight bully. Where the videos? None. You see what I mean? You see,
You
so
know,
he
I
can
know,
say,
brother.
I'm going to come in at 180 pounds. He can say that out loud. And no one said anything. No one, my Puerto Rican friend. I said, what about that? Of course. Oh, I didn't hear him say that. I said, hold on, let me send you this link. Everything I tell him, he doesn't know all of a sudden. And I sent him a link. I said, yo, click that link, read it, or watch the video, and then get back to me. And it's never something that I said. It's always a direct quote from the mouth of that guy. And then he texts me back or calls me and he wants to move the goalpost. So I already know what I'm dealing with because I've been dealing with it. But this is why you hate Devin. But when I see you big lip monkey baboons talking up a guy like Ryan, I'm back on that guy again. Pause. When I see you talking this guy up, I understand that you're a coon and you'll get dealt with. Don't talk to me about you being pro-black or whatever, and then you picking up Ryan Garcia. Let me explain something to you, man. I know what's wrong. I'm done saying I don't know what's wrong with these niggas, but I know what's wrong. Self-hatred and no knowledge of self. When that clown walked into the gym with Adrian Broner and Dean the Great, I'm telling you right now, bro,
Come on.
they should have stopped filming and told him, get the fuck out. Get out. Don't come near us. Don't come near us. But I expect that behavior from Adrian Broner, who's been a fabulous fuck up for his entire career. We tried to support him, but I'm not lying on that. And I expect it from Dean the Great. I just saw somebody sent me a clip of him doing a lie detector test, and it came out he did some gay shit with a dude.
What?
That happened. That happened. Coach, you ain't know about that?
Hold on. AB or Dean?
No. Dean.
Man.
And AB was sitting there, and I think the dude that performed the lie detector test was the same guy that asked Ryan Garcia, did he find Gorlock attractive? And he said yes. And he said, this is true. I think it's the same guy.
My God. Y'all see
Yeah,
what's
so
going on.
So Dean the Great did some faggot stuff. His words, not mine. I saw it. I'm looking at that. Like, you know what? I'm going to send it to you on the gram. I got to find it.
Hey, brother, I got about 4 minutes. I got to ask you this before we go. Salute to Corner Girl 66. She said that Keyshawn's team just asked for another extension for 72 hours. So I got to ask you this.
No. Come on, bro. No. That boy don't want to fight. It's over.
I got to ask you this. Though. If this man ducks Devin, how should the boxing world respond?
Shut him out. The only people that should be shown to his fights are people that love him from Virginia unconditionally, and the 2 or 3 people that be in our chats. You go support him because he's not going to get a bigger payday than Devin Haney. 25% is not only the rule, but it will be as high as payday because it would have been 25% of the biggest bag he's ever seen. But to answer your question, the boxing world should put him on full blast, but they're not. Because somehow this is going to be Bill and Dev's fault.
Right. You right.
This is crazy.
Ridiculous.
And you listening to Jay Prince? This guy's single-handedly ruining these kids' career. Ask Jared Anderson, coach, where is he at right now?
BSing somewhere.
There you go. Done.
Man, salute to my brother Drew Titan coming through, man. It's good to hear from you, brother. We can't hear from
Absolutely.
We can't wait for you to come back and hear you in the mornings.
No doubt, good brother. You have a good day. I'm gonna hit this gym, and y'all be blessed.
All right, brother. You be safe out there. Peace. Man, shout out to our brother coming through, lighting the airways on fire. Our good brother Drew Titan came in the building.
Backpack raps with gas in it. Don't get your cap peeled by the black menace. Ha ha ha. Primo. Check. I like to call myself the god of rap, but really I just gotta rap.
I gotta say this before we leave, fam. If Keyshawn and team ducks this fight, I don't want to hear nothing else of this tough street talk from any of you dudes when it comes to Devin Haney. Brothers and sisters, we gotta head out. my good brother Champ Side. My good brother Champ Side is about to do a live about the PBC's roster being done. I think it's going to be a great live. It starts in 1 minute. So I want all of the truth tellers in the chat, all 35 of us. We're going to go over to the Champ Side, and I'm going to see you all in the chat. Peace to the family. Peace to my comrades. And it is always smoke to the Co-Intel Pro boxing fan. And Bill Haney is not the father. All praise is due to the Most High. We talking boxing talk. We talking boxing talk, so pay attention. God made you and I in his own image. Sometimes like in boxing, life knock you down. Get up on both feet, we never accept defeat. Remove the chains off your mind and take your time. The truth teller's always on the front line. You COINTEL Pro boxer fans, you're dead wrong. Spitting division and hate all day long. But I rebuke you spineless devils in the name of Jesus. And y'all know we really don't give a damn about your wicked motives, always trying to split the fam. We talking boxing talk, so pay attention. God made you and I in his own image. Sunday afternoon, I need to unwind. I grab a cup of tea and play my sister Sugar Free. Mom, her knowledge, she will set you free. But don't get it twisted, ain't nothing sweet. We talking boxing talk, so pay attention. God made you and I in his own image. My brother Drew Titan early in the AM, always speaking facts about the code. All the truth tellers, yeah, they real bold. The General 78, yeah, he real cold. Need some boxing history, shout out to Stormy B. Queen Shawala, always on the scene. And gotta give a shout out to our Champ Side. Getting us real facts, always down to ride. Now through one of these truth tellers, you found me. Now let's talk boxing with Coach B. We talking boxing talk, so pay attention. God made you and I in his own image. Shout out to my brothers